Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. Today we are going to be fighting with my Dark Angels against Harris's Crimson Slaughter. So the story that we've got going on here is pretty straightforward. The Dark Angels and the Crimson Slaughter do not get along. So they are the Dark Angels have been sent in to go try to purge or to kill some heretics here. And these heretics are trying to quiet the voices in their head by getting some more kills. So the two sides are now going to try to go slaughter each other. So that's the story that we've got going on here. We're going to be doing the Gather Intelligence mission. So each of these objectives is worth 3 points in the middle. All the others are worth 2 points at the end of each turn. So we're going to have one heck of a good time, I think. So that is the story that we've got going on. That is the mission that we've got going on. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two kill teams that are going to be fighting it out today. So for the Dark Angels, my kill team will consist of a leader who is a Reaver Sergeant with a bolt carbine. I then have a Reaver with a combat knife that will be my combat specialist. I've got a Reaver with a bolt carbine who will be my demolitions expert. I then have a Reaver with a combat knife who will be my comm specialist. I have another Reaver with a combat knife and a tactical sergeant with a bolter and a chainsword. And all of the Reavers will have grapnel launchers. And for the Chaos Space Marines, his kill team will consist of an aspiring champion who will be his leader with a power sword and plasma pistol. We've got a heavy specialist with a heavy bolter. We have a veteran specialist with a bolter, chainsword, and an icon of wrath. A bolt pistol, sorry. Then we have a bolt pistol and chainsword with Zealot, and we have a bolt pistol and chainsword Space Marine as well. Then we have five cultists. We have 3 with autoguns, one who's 2 gunners, one with a heavy flamer and one with a heavy stubber, and we have a cultist leader as well. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. Today we are going to be fighting with my Dark Angels against Harris's Crimson Slaughter. So the story that we've got going on here is pretty straightforward. The Dark Angels and the Crimson Slaughter do not get along. So they are the Dark Angels have been sent in to go try to purge or to kill some heretics here. And these heretics are trying to quiet the voices in their head by getting some more kills. So the two sides are now going to try to go slaughter each other. So that's the story that we've got going on here. We're going to be doing the Gather Intelligence mission. So each of these objectives is worth 3 points in the middle. All the others are worth 2 points at the end of each turn. So we're going to have one heck of a good time, I think. So that is the story that we've got going on. That is the mission that we've got going on. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two kill teams that are going to be fighting it out today. All right, so those are the armies going over deployment. I've got my combat specialist over here on the side. I've got another Reaver here. I've got my comm specialist up here. I've got my demolitions expert here. I've got my leader right here, and I've got my tactical sergeant over here. Going over deployment for the Crimson Slaughter, we have his cultist leader over here. We got the heavy stubber. We got the heavy flamer. We've got the heavy bolter, which is the specialist with the heavy bolter. Oh, was that heavy?
Regular flamer.
Regular flamer. Oh, sorry, regular flamer, not heavy flamer. So it's just regular flamer and the heavy stubber. We've got the 3 cultists down in there. We've got the guy back over here is his zealot specialist. We've got the leader. We've got the other regular dude bro, and in front there we've got the veteran specialist. So that is the deployment for the two armies. We are now going to roll off for initiative. So we each roll 2d6. I finished deploying first, so I get +1. I got a 10, so I will be going first. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. So actually before that, we are going to be, my opponent is going to spend his 2 command points on Beseech the Dark God onto his heavy bolter. It's a 2-point stratagem for Chaos Space Marines and allows them to, you roll a d6. On a 1, he takes d3 mortal wounds because he's unworthy. On a 2+, he gets +1 to hit and +1 to wound for the rest of the game. So here we go. He is worthy, so he will be having +1 to hit and +1 to wound, which is pretty brutal on a guy with a heavy bolter. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. My combat specialist moved up over here and just did a regular move. This guy back here readied himself. All 3 of these guys readied themselves. My comm specialist moved down over here, and that is it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you after the movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter. And for the Crimson Slaughter on their movement phase, all 3 guys down here moved. His leader over here, not his leader, but the cultist leader moved over here. The heavy stubber and the heavy bolter guy both readied, and everyone over here also moved. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so we're going to start by activating my. My demolitions expert here with the bolt carbine. He is going to fire into his heavy bolter guy here. I am more than half range, so I am -1 to hit for that. He is obscured, -1 to hit for that. I am +1 to hit because I'm going to use the comm specialist rule to use him there, so he's going to be +1 to hit. So I'm going to be hitting on 4s, 2 shots since it's 24 inches bolt carbine that I'm going to be shooting here. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Getting neither. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll one of those into a fill face, so that is a hit. This is now strength 4, toughness 4, but he's the demolitions expert and he's obscured, so I'm going to be wounding on 3s. No, nothing there. All right, so now his heavy bolter guy is going to start us off by shooting into my leader with all 3 shots over there. So it's going to be 3 shots, 3s to hit.
Because I get +1.
+1 to hit, and I'm obscured, but he's within 18 inches. So it's going to be just the -1 for obscured, +1 because of being worthy. So that's 2 hits there. These are now strength 5, looking for 2s to wound because he gets +1 to wound. So that's 2 wounds at AP -1. So I have 2 4-up saves. Failing one of them, so he takes 1 wound. All right, so now my leader is going to activate, and he is going to fire into his heavy bolter guy over here. So again, 2 shots. He's going to be hitting on 5s though because he's more than halfway and obscured, and I don't get the +1 for the comm specialist. So looking for 5s to hit. Nope. All right, so now his heavy stubber guy is going to activate. He is going to shoot into my dude bro over here. He's going to be hitting on 5s because he's obscured, but he's within half range. So looking for 5s, getting 1 hit.
Need a 4.
Needing a 4 to wound. That is 4. A wound.
No AP.
No AP, so looking for a 3-up save. He's good with a filth face. And now my tactical sergeant is going to fire into his heavy bolter guy. 1 shot hitting on a 5. That is a fill face hit. Going to be wounding on a 4. That is not a wound. All right, none of my other guys can actually see anybody over there, so we're going to start activating over here. His cultist over here behind the barrel is going to fire. He's more than half range away from him, but he's also obscured from him, so he's looking for a 6 to hit. No hit there. All right, so that is it for turn 1. So we are now going to roll for initiative to see on turn 2 here. I roll a 6. My opponent rolls a 7, so he will be going first. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter here on turn 2. All right, so movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter here. This cultist moved over this way. These 2 guys readied themselves. And technically he also readied himself down there. He readied himself back over here, and these 2 guys advanced over this way. Now he's going to charge. So we're going to start with his leader over here who's going to charge into my comm specialist. I cannot see, so
need a 9.
Need a 9-inch charge. Does not get it, but because he's got the Icon of Wrath, he gets to re-roll. And he does get it with a 12. And now his Icon of Wrath guy is going to charge in over here.
Need an 8.
Woo, he's really
12.
All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here. My leader moved back over this way. My sergeant put himself into ready here. My demolitions expert readied himself. This guy is now going to charge, and this guy is going to charge. So we're going to start with him charging into his leader over here. So needing a 6-inch charge, getting it with a 9. And now my combat specialist is going to charge into his 2 cultists over here. No Overwatch, and he is in. All right, so starts it for the movement phase into the shooting phase. His heavy guy here with the heavy bolter is going to shoot into my demolitions expert over here. He is going to spend 1 command point for more bullets, giving him 4 shots. These are going to be, he's looking for 3s and 2s. All right, all hits, looking for 2s. Getting 3 wounds.
At -1.
At AP -1, so we've got 3 4-ups. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that. Well, no, it's only doing 1 wound. I'm gonna let it go. I'm going to take that. All right, so now my demolitions expert is going to fire into his heavy over here. So I'm gonna have 2 shots looking for 4s to hit because he's -1 for obscured, -1 for being more than half range, +1 from the comms expert. All right, so we got 1 hit. Looking for a 4 to wound. No wound. All right, now his cultist over here is gonna fire into my sergeant over here. So he's looking for a 6. No hit. All right, so now my sergeant over here is going to fire into his zealot over there. He's within half range, but he's obscured, so I'm going to be hitting on 4s, 2 shots, rapid fire. Whoop, getting 1 hit, getting 2 hits, wounding on 4s, getting 1 wound, no AP, so 3 up save. No, he goes through. He's going to spend a command point to reroll that. Okay, he is good. All right, so now nobody else is actually able to shoot. They don't have any line of sight. So I'm going to activate my leader over here, who is going to fire into his zealot specialist over there. So I'm going to fire with my bolt carbine. So I've got 2 shots. I am within half range, and I am not obscured. So it's going to be 2 shots hitting on 3s. All right, that's 2 hits. Wounding on with filth faces. Got to mean something, right? Wounding on 4s. No, does not mean anything, apparently. Womp, womp. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Into the fight phase, we're going to start with his leader, who is Firing Champion, who is going to attack into the guy who charged him, because when you charge, you can only choose the targets that you charged or that charged you earlier that round. And since I charged him, I become a valid target. So he's going to attack into me over here. He's got 3 attacks, is it? Two attacks, hitting on 3s.
With Death of the False Emperor.
Death of the False Emperor, so 6s gets another attack. So he gets 2 hits plus another attack.
That hits.
Into a hit. So it's 3 hits.
And now I need 4.
He needs 4s to wound. Getting 3 wounds. Oh, brutal. So that's going to be -3. So 3 6-up saves. Show me them filth faces. No, failing all of them. So I will be down to 0 wounds. So roll on the injury roll there. 4 is 1 second. All right, and he is out of action. All right, so now my combat specialist here is going to attack into his cultist. He's got a combat knife, so he gets +1 attack, and I'm going to have +1 attack because he's a combat specialist. So I've got 4 attacks. I'm going to put 2 into the front guy and 2 into the back guy. So we'll do the front guy first. So 2 attacks hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is 2 wounds. 2 AP nothing saves.
5 ups.
5 ups. No, failed them. So let's find out if he's dead. No, he takes a flesh wound. And now the 2 into the other guy back there. That's 2 hits. That is 1 wound.
That's a save.
That's a save. And now his Chaos Marine is going to attack into my comms guy over here. So he's going to have 1 attack.
Hitting on a 3.
Hitting on a 3. That's a hit.
Wounding on a 4.
Wounding on a 4. No wound. Sorry, I forgot about his chain sword, so he gets another attack in there. That is a hit. That is a wound. But I make the save. Woo! All right, so now his unwounded cultist will activate into my guy over here. That is not a hit. Nope. All right, so now my comm specialist over here is going to attack into his leader. I've got a combat knife there, so I've got 3 attacks here, hitting on 3s. So that is 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That is a wound. 3-up save. Oh, he's good. And now the other cultist gets to attack back at me.
Hitting on a 5.
Hitting on a 5 because he's -1 because of his flesh wound. No hit. And that is the end of the turn. His guy down here doesn't have to take a test because he has nobody out, so he doesn't have any minuses, but he gets +1 to his or -1 from the roll for having a guy within 2 inches there. So he is actually going to be fine, even if he rolls a 6. That becomes a 5 and equals his leadership, and he will be fine there. So no one has to take any tests. I'm not going to test for break, and no one has to take any nerve tests. So now we will roll to see initiative for the next turn. So let's roll 2d6 each for the next turn for initiative. I roll a 6, he rolls a 9, so we will come back to you after movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter. All right, movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter. He readied himself. He moved over here. These 2 guys readied themselves. These 2 cultists fell back away from my combat specialist over here. And these 2 guys stayed in combat. He readied himself. And these two guys are going to charge. So we're going to start off with the guy in the front there. His Zealot charging into both of these guys up over here. So you need a, what charge is it again? An 8-inch charge. So we're going to have, I get to Overwatch here. So we've got we're going to go with my leader first. So he's got 2 shots here, hitting on 6s. Not getting anything. And then my sergeant there, hitting on 6s. Not getting anything. So he needs an 8-inch charge. Making it in. And the other guy's going to charge in there, needing 10. Getting not enough.
Let me check one thing.
Icon of Wrath, I'll let him charge again. Nope, not making it. All right, so my combat specialist over here had to stay still in the Dark Angel's movement phase because he had started the movement phase within 1 inch of a model. Over here, my comm specialist fell back over to this way, and my my demolitions expert readied himself, and these two guys had to stay in combat over there. So that is it for the Dark Angels here. So we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so my opponent is going to activate his heavy bolter guy here, who is going to spend 1 command point for more bullets, and he is going to be firing 2 shots into my demolitions expert, 2 shots into my comms specialist here. So we're going to do the ones into the comms specialist first, or the
let's go.
Do the comms specialist first. So 2 shots hitting on 4s because he's not in half range. 1 hit. That is 1 wound, AP -1, so looking for a 4 up. He's good with a filth phase. Woo! And now 2 shots into my demolitions expert there. So looking for 3s to hit, because he is within half range. No hits there. Nope. All right, so now my demolitions expert's going to fire into his leader over here. He is not obscured. He is within half range, and I'm going to use the comm specialist, so I'm looking for 2s to hit. So 2 shots, 2s to hit. That's 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. I'm getting 1 wound. 1 3-up save. He's good. And now his flamer is going to activate, shooting into my combat specialist there. So D6 hits. So that's going to be 3 hits.
5s.
Looking for 4s to wound. Getting 1 wound. 3-up save. He's good. Now the heavy stubber bro is going to shoot into him. So he's got -1 for obscured, but +1, but not -1 because he's well within half range here. So looking for 5s. All right, getting 2 hits. Getting 2 wounds. Failing 1 save, so he takes a wound. And now this cultist here is going to fire into him. He is within half range, so it's going to be 2 shots. Also not -1, which is good. But he is -1 for being obscured, so it's going to be 2 shots hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on 5s.
1.
That's a wound. Looking for a 3-up. Yeah, he good. All right, so now my opponent's going to activate his cultist leader over here. He's going to shoot into my combat specialist there. So he's going to have 2 shots hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit. Wound on a 5. No wound. All right, so now my combat specialist is going to fire into his flamer guy over here. So I'm going to have 1 shot with my heavy bolt pistol. This is going to be hitting on a 3. No hit. All right, so now his leader here is going to use his plasma pistol to shoot into my comm specialist over here. So it's going to be 1 shot hitting on a 3. That is a hit, and that is a wound. So AP -3. So what? AP -3 is a plasma. So looking for a 6-up. Show me that fill first. No fill phase. So injury roll is down. He's actually obscured over here, so from him, so that 6 was a hit, but also he gets a +/-1, so he just takes a flesh wound. All right, so now this guy over here is going to fire into him with a bolt pistol. That is not a hit. And this guy is going to fire in. He's going to be -1 because of obscured, and he's going to be -1 because of being more than half range for his bolt pistol. So that is a hit, though. But that's not a wound. All right, so now his guy who charged over here, the Zealot guy, is going to attack into my Reaver Sergeant over here. So he's going to put all 3 of his attacks because of there. These are going to be hitting on 3s. That 6 does explode, so re-roll that. We'll just roll that 2. All right, so that's going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound. 3-up armor save. No, fails that. So rolling here. And he is out.
Sergeant.
And the one other attack that he's got onto the guy over here, because he's a Zealot, so he had the +1 attack. So this is going to be hitting on a 3. No hit. He's going to spend a command point to reroll it. Nope, no hit. And now my guy over here gets to attack into his guy. So I've got 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on a 4. No wound. I'm actually going to spend a command point to reroll that wound. Nope. All right, so that's the end of the turn. Nobody who has a flesh wound actually can fail their nerve test, so we're not going to take that. Still not bottle test yet, so we will now roll for initiative for the next turn. I rolled an 8. My opponent rolled a 12, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter here on turn 3. Turn 3. All right, so movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter. These guys have all readied over here, so his heavies, all their guns are just getting ready on him, which is not great for him. This cultist over here readied as well. So did this Marine over here. He stayed in combat over there, and these two guys are going to charge. So we're going to start with the Icon of Wrath guy first. Yep, he's going to charge into both of these guys over here. So fire and Overwatch. We're going to start with the Demolitions guy there. Nope, no hits there. And then into the pistol for the Comm Specialist. No hit there. So here comes his charge distance. Looking for 5 again to the first guy. Ooh, he is in. And now his leader is going to charge into both as well. Oh, he is not in. But he's within 6 inches of the Icon of Wrath, and now he's in.
Very much.
All right, so these guys are staying in combat, and now my Reaver over here is going to charge into these two cultists. So we're going to go with Overwatch here, looking for 6s. Getting 1.
And a 5.
And a wound. That is a save, though, and his charge distance is in. All right, so that is it for the movement phase for the Dark Angels. So now we're going to go into the shooting phase. We just have these two guys exchanging bolt pistol shots. So his guy is getting a hit. He's getting a wound. But I'm making my save, and then my shot is not going to get a hit. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Not getting a hit. All right, so his leader is now going to start us off by attacking into my comm specialist over there. So he's got both hits.
And 4s.
Wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound. AP -3 because it's a power sword. Phil Face is a save. Woo! All right, so now I'm going to attack in here into my guy, into his cultist with my guy. So I've got 4 attacks total. These are going to be 2 and 2. So we're going to do 2 into the guy with the flesh wound. Getting 1 hit. Getting a wound. No save. So he gets +1 to this roll because he already has a flesh wound. 2, he takes another flesh wound. And then the 2 into the other guy. That's 2 hits. That is 2 wounds. That is 1 save, but 1 not. So is he? No, he takes a flesh wound as well. And then his other Marine here is going to attack into my guy up front who has the flesh wound, the Demolitions expert. So that's going to be 2 hits.
Death of the False Emperor.
Death of the False Emperor. No there, so it's just 2 hits. 1 wound. He's good with the save, though. All right, because he has initiative, he's going to activate him first over here. So he's going to have 2 attacks over here, because it's not the Charney charge, so 2 attacks. Getting 2 hits. Death to the False Emperor. So getting 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. No wounds. All right, I'm going to activate my sergeant over there. So he's going to have 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Getting 3 hits, wounding on 4s. Getting 3 wounds, so 3 3-ups. Failed 1, so here we go. Is he out of action? Yeah, he is with a 4. All right, so now my guy over here is going to attack into his leader. 3 attacks here because he's got the combat knife. Hitting on 3s. That's 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. That is 2 wounds, 2 3-ups. Ooh, failed 1. Is he going to die? No, he is not. 1 second. All right, I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that injury roll. No, still just a flesh wound. And now my other guy is going to attack into the leader with 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 1 hit. That is a wound with a Phil Face. Oh, but he's good with the save. And then the last 2 cultists are going to attack into my guy over here.
Needing 5s.
Needing 5s to hit.
Nope.
No, nothing there. And now my opponent's going to spend 2 command points for Fury of Khorne to reactivate his leader over there, attacking into my comm specialist. So he's got 1 hit. 1 wound. Looking for a 6-up. Show me that Phil Face. Yeah, with the Phil Face. Woo! All right, so that is it for the the turn here. So now we have over here, we do have 1 nerve test because this guy over here is now at -2 to this test, so he's gonna have to take it over here. So looking for 6, so he's good. Ooh, no, he is gonna be shocked. And then the other guy over here has to take the same thing.
Nope.
No, so he is good to go. So the one guy out there did fail it, so he is going to be shook. So we will, that is going to be it. So at the end of the turn, we now roll to see initiative for the next turn. Turn 4, 3, and of course 11 there. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter. All right, so movement phase for Crimson Slaughter. These two guys stayed in combat. He readied himself. He is going to charge. He readied himself, but he's ready to charge. He's ready to charge. He's ready to charge. Everybody's going to try to charge on into here. He really wants him dead. Since that guy's shook, he's going to be stuck in combat. It's the only way he can really get some shots onto him. So, and the other guy's going to stay in combat over there. So, now we're going to go into, we'll do these charges. So which one do you want to start with first?
Let's start furthest out.
Okay, we're going to start over here. He's going to charge in over here. He makes it with a 12-inch charge.
What is with...
Now, the cultist leader here is going to charge in with
7.
an 8. This cultist over here is going to charge. He is also in. And he's going to charge in. He is in. All right, and my guy here is going to charge into these two guys. He is in.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone's in combat, so none of the ready guys can shoot, but he can start shooting over here. So who do you want to start with?
I'm going to fire my plasma pistol.
One second. All right, so we were talking about it, and he can't actually fire his plasma pistol because he got charged in this turn. I know I declared him as a charge, but it didn't end up base, so he's going to shoot his bolt pistol into whom do you want to shoot into?
Guy.
Into the Fleshman guy, into my demolitions expert. So that is a hit.
Deathful Temper.
That is a wound. 3 up save. Yeah, he good. All right, so now I'm going to shoot with my heavy bolt pistol into his leader over here, hitting on a 3. That's a hit. That is not a wound. All right, I'm going to command point that. Yeah, there we go. So that's a wound. AP -1, so looking for a 4 up.
Which one's your leader?
My leader's out. Yeah.
I'm
He's good with a 4 up.
Balls.
And my other Reaver here is going to shoot into him with this heavy bolt pistol. That's a hit. That is a wound. -1. No, that goes through. So he's already got one flesh wound. So let's see what happens.
I ignored the first one because transient.
You ignore it for penalties to your actions. You don't ignore it for this wound. So it's going to be +1. +1 is a 5. He is dead. All right, so now his heavy bolter bro is actually going to shoot into my guy that is now suddenly out of combat over here. So he's going to shoot into him. 3 shots, looking for 3s to hit.
2 hits.
Getting 2 hits.
2s to wound.
2s to wound. That is 1 wound. AP -1, so looking for a 4 up. He's good with a fail first. All right, and now he's going to shoot his pistol into the heavy flamer guy, or into the flamer guy. That's a hit. That is a wound. AP -1. 6 up. No, so he is going to be wounded. Does he get knocked out or a flesh wound? 3 is just going to be a flesh wound. All right, so that's it for shooting into the fight phase. He's going to start with his cult leader over here.
4.
4 is to hit.
And 5.
Looking for a 5. No wound there. All right, and my sergeant over here is going to pile into the guy over here. So I'm going to have 3 attacks here. Hitting on 3s. So that is 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves. He's good. And now we're going to go over here to the cultists who charge. So we have 2 that don't have flesh wounds. That's 1 hit. That is no wound. And then we've got the 1 with a flesh wound is going to be -1 to hit. So no hit there. And now his guy with the Icon of Wrath is going to swing into my guy with the flesh wound, so into my demolitions expert. That is 1 hit. And Death to the False Emperor, so roll, make another roll. Nope, so just the 1 hit. Looking for a 4. No wound. And now my con specialist is going to activate over here. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. So that is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on a 4. Getting 1 wound. 3 up. He's good.
Flesh wound guy.
And we got the one flesh wound guy over here. That's a hit. That is not a wound. And now I've got this guy over here is going to attack in. 2 attacks. Getting 1 hit. That is a wound. That is a save. All right, now this guy's going to activate. We're going to put 2 attacks into the flamer guy. Getting 1 hit. Getting a wound.
5 up.
5 up.
He's
good. 1 attack into the guy who failed his nerve test. That's a hit. That is not a wound. And then 1 attack into the other wounded guy. That's a hit. That is also not a wound. All right, so my opponent's now going to spend 2 command points to activate this guy again. He's going to attack into my demolitions guy with a flesh wound. So that's going to be
Okay.
2 hits. One wound. Looking for a 3-up save. Yeah, he good. All right, so that's the end of the turn. Again, nobody can fail their nerve test that have to take them, and we don't have to bottle yet. So that's the end of the turn. So we're going to roll for initiative. I got an 8. Got snake eyes, so I'm finally going to go first. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let's find out. We'll come back to you after moving phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 4? 4. All right, Dark Angel movement. Not moving. Everyone's going to stay in combat where they are. It's my safest, best bet, I believe. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Crimson Slaughter. All right, movement for the Crimson Slaughter. All of the cultists scattered. So they all just fell back away from here. This heavy guy moved down over to there. This guy that was in the middle there moved back over here. And this guy stayed in combat. So that's the end of the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. Comm Specialist is going to give himself the +1, so he's going to shoot into him, looking for a 2 to hit. That's a hit. Wounding on a 4. No wound. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that.
You got command points.
Yeah, there we go. -1.
3 up.
Oh, he's good.
2.
All right, so now his heavy bolter guy is going to spend a command point for more bullets. He's going to shoot into my poor combat specialists over here. He's going to have 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. All hits. Wounding on 2s. Getting 3 wounds. 3 4-up saves.
Statistically, you're gonna die.
Yeah, with those saves. Woo! Now my combat specialist is going to shoot into heavy bolter, bro. Nope, not hitting. Bolt pistol bolt pistol over here. Sorry, into my combat specialist. That's a hit. That is a wound. That is a save. My sergeant's going to shoot his bolt pistol. Not a hit. And he's going to shoot his bolt pistol into my guy with the flesh wound. That's a hit. That is a wound. That is a save with a fill face. And he's going to shoot his heavy bolt pistol into him. All right, into the fight phase. I get to go first with I'm going to go with my comm specialist into him over here. So 3 attacks. That is 2 hits. That is 1 wound. That is a save, though. And then he's going to attack into my demolitions expert here. 2 hits.
1 wound.
1 wound. Oh, failed it. Roll to see if he is out.
+1.
+1.
He's
no,
dead.
he's out. And now my sergeant's going to attack in. That is going to be 2 hits. That is going to be 2 wounds. That is going to be 1 save. So let's see. No, he takes a flesh wound. All right, so this guy over here, now that's the end of the turn, so we have some nerve tests that have to go on here. So he is going to roll for his nerve test.
He's good.
He's good. Over here.
He's good.
He's good. Over here. He's also good. And my guys, he can't fail because he's got a higher leadership than these dude bros. So that is going to be it for the turn. So let's roll to see if this game goes on to a turn 5. It does. So we'll come. Now we have to roll for initiative.
Back up to him.
5. Hey, thanks for letting me go first. So we'll come back to you after movement phase. All right, now my movement phase, he is going to charge into heavy bolter guy and the cultist leader over there. So heavy bolter overwatch. No hits. Leader overwatch. No hits. Charge distance is in. All right, so the rest of his guys are going to ready except for him who's going to move up there. Everyone else is in combat. He's going to stay. So we will come back to you with the fight phase. All right, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put 3 attacks into the heavy bolter guy, 1 into his leader. So 3 into the heavy bolter guy. Getting 1 hit. 1 wound. No save. He is not out, though.
I think you're right.
And then the 1 into the cultist. That's not a hit. All right, so because I have initiative, I'm going to start with my comm specialist over here. Okay. Throwing my dice away. Getting 2 hits. Getting no wounds. All right, and this guy is going to attack into my sergeant over here. 2 attacks. Getting Death to the False Emperor. All right, so still getting 2 hits.
I'm going to actually command.
He's going to spend a command point on that. His last one for this turn. That's a hit.
Yep. Death False
Does not get to super explode. Getting no wounds. And now my my sergeant's going to attack in. Getting 3 hits. Getting 1 wound. Oh, he's good. Heavy Bolter Bro is going to attack in. That's a hit. That's not a wound. And the Cult Leader. That's one hit. That's one wound. Oh boy. That's good save. All right, so that's the end of the turn. We got a nerve test over here. That is for...
He is nervous.
He is nervous, so he's now... This guy over here
Nervous.
is nervous as well. This guy over here is
Super
nervous. And I think that's it, because he can't fail, because he's only got 2 guys out. And that's it. So that's the one. So does this game go on to a turn 6? It does not. 1 second. No, it does not. So that is the end of the game, and it is a Crimson Slaughter. When we're counting up points, I had 4. My opponent had approximately 37 billion, I think.
6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 37.
37. So 37 to 4. Ekes out a victory there for the Dark Powers there, but a ton of fun. I was really... He couldn't do anything. He gave 1 billion flesh wounds. He couldn't do anything. Everyone couldn't do anything. Nothing happened. But that was a ton of fun. Just had a really great time. It was cool to see a lot of those like special, the chaos specialty tactics that you could use, the stratagems, which was pretty awesome. The Heretic Astartes ones. So it was a ton of fun. But yes, I had a blast, and I hope that you guys did too. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Harris, and until next time, have fun.